Hello everyone and welcome back to our continued playthrough of Dragon Warrior 2 for the Nintendo Entertainment System. In this video we're going to do a whole bunch of things. First, we're going to get in our ship and head over and find the Sunken Treasure, which we can trade for a very important item in this game called the Echo Flute. After that, we're going to travel to two places in the world and acquire the Golden Key and the Prison Key. Those keys are the final two keys we need in the game, so we can basically open any doors. After that, we will travel back to a familiar continent from the first Dragon Warrior game. So here we are, back in Hamlin again. We are at level 13, 11, and 7. So we're going to go ahead and get in our ship and head over and find the Sunken Treasure. Now there are references to this treasure throughout the various towns in the game, but we kind of already have an idea of where it is because it was referenced in Leonport. As you can see, the enemies are not too difficult out at the sea. They're all pretty much the same no matter where you go in the world. So we're going to just fight them off as much as we can to gain the experience points. The sea slugs are a little bit difficult at this point, only because they can put me to sleep and poison as well. Not that they're difficult, I shouldn't say that. They're more of just a nuisance. So we're basically just going to travel north and then to the west. Past some of these islands here. And we're back at some familiar land here from the Dragon Warrior 1. This is the continent where Dragon Warrior 1 took place. We're passing it now to the left. So we're just going to keep working our way north and fighting off the enemies as we get attacked. It's good not to run from any of these because these guys do give pretty good experience and gold, which we need a lot of experience at this point to continue leveling up. Believe it or not, we are more than halfway through this game. This game is really not that long, actually. We're gonna, like I said at the beginning, we're gonna acquire a bunch of items here, and then we can continue on back to the main course of the game, which is to collect the crests needed to open the Cave of Roan. We need to get the 3 crests, which in turn gives us the Eye of Rubus, which we need to acquire from a shrine that's out in the middle of the ocean, but you need all 3 crests for that. And then that leads us basically over to Hargon's castle. So as you can see, we have just acquired the Sunken Treasure. It is in the basically northwestern corner of the world. Now if we head straight down and continue past the Dragon Warrior 1 continent right there, bringing us straight down will bring us back to Leonport. Now we need to trade the Sunken Treasure with the merchant. So if we talk to the old man who we rescued his granddaughter, he will just basically let us through and we can just get another ship and go down here and use our silver key to open up the door. And we talk to this gentleman and he gives us the echoing flute. Now this flute, when played, will alert us if one of the 3 primary items in the game is near us. The crests. There's the sun crest, the moon crest, and the water crest. So now that we've acquired those, we're going to go get some keys. So there are 2 spots we need to get these keys from. Both are fairly easy to acquire. So for the one, we're going to head to the very southeast corner of the world, and the key is located in a small village on an island, basically in the middle of nowhere. So we're going to head that way now. The easiest way to get there is to head back up past the Sunken Treasure and then cut left, and it basically will take us down to the bottom right corner where the town of Zahan is. And in this town there is a golden key hidden in an area. So we're just going to keep fighting our way along here and going that way. Now, there were only 3 keys in this game. There is the silver key, which we already got, the golden key, which is found in Zahan, and then the jailer's key, or the prison key, depending on which version of the game you play, is found in Welgarth. You actually buy it from a tool shop, and it's a nondescript item. It doesn't even show you how much it costs, and you just buy it from the guy. It's like 2,000 gold. And once you have those 3 keys, you can basically open any door in the game, which means we need to then backtrack to a couple of places. But we'll do that after we get to Tantegel Castle on the original continent where we started out in Dragon Warrior 1. I'm going to use that castle as my kind of staging area for a while. Save point, because there's a bunch of things I need to do there. I need to, once I go to that island, they mention about Edric and some tokens and some armor and weapons and stuff like that, so I'm going to search out some of those for the hero. Mainly the helmet of Edric's pretty easy to get. You have to just go back to Middenhall and find Edric's token, which is hidden. I think it's in the basement or something like that, now that I have the keys. And we'll just backtrack a little and get some of the things that we need. The Sword of Edric is also fairly easy to get, but a little time consuming. It's inside of Tantegel Castle, which is the stage of the final fight in Dragon Warrior 1. So we need to go back in there as well and fight our way through and acquire the Sword of Edric. Obviously we want to make the hero as strong as possible. And then we can start, after that we'll start going after the crests and stuff like that. And again, at this point in the game, there's no set order in which you need to do things. You can get Edric's weapons and armor, or you can not get them at all and avoid that kind of stuff. But again, it makes the game that much easier getting those things. So at this point, I really don't waste any more money on any kind of weapons or anything for the hero. I just kind of leave him as is. So here we are back where the Sunken Treasure was. Now we're going to head north a little bit, and once we see the tip of the other continent, we are now on the southern part of the world. And we're just going to cut left, because as we all know, the world is indeed round. And when you hit the top of the map, it takes you back down to the bottom. So these guys, as you can see, are not difficult, but they come in greater numbers, and you have to keep a very close eye on your hit points and magic points. The Princess casting Infernos kills pretty much all the mana wars in one shot, and then it gets pretty easy to take out the rest. So the magic Drakis are pretty easy to kill. They're usually one hit. Fire magic does not work very well on the Sea Slug. I actually forgot about that. You're better off focusing with primary attacks on those guys. So we'll just beat him up here. The hero can usually one hit them. So there's that guy dead, and we'll take care of this guy now. And again, it's okay to let them call for backup, because you get more experience that way, which I love. So as you can see, you get a considerable amount of experience and gold from fighting these guys. So we're just going to heal ourselves here, and because again, it's pretty easy to get beat up around here. For good measure, we'll just heal Gwen also. So we're just going to keep heading west, which will bring us to this little island in the village of Zahan. And here we are. It's mostly women and children in this village. There's actually one like perverted guy who we'll talk to, who just kind of wanders around. They talk about the moon fragment, which is the moon crest. This guy here is pretty funny. He's just like the town pervert. So we'll go ahead and stay at the inn here for good measure. And then we'll continue to explore this town. Now, I do not... Up in the top there, where the prison is, there is the one of the items needed to get the strongest armor for the princess, but I do not have step guard yet, nor do I have the prison key. So this little dog tells us that he found something. So if we go ahead and search here, there's the golden key. So now that we have that, we can continue on out of here. At this point, there's really not a whole lot left here to do. We'll come back once we get the jailer's key and the we learn step guard. So now we need to head over to Welgarth, which is not that far of a journey. Welgarth is the closest town to the Cave of Roan, which, as we all know, takes us to Hargon's area and his fortress / castle. So we're going to head over to Welgarth now and just basically pick up the last key so that we can explore the world freely and unlock any doors. So as you can see, my levels up are still the same, 13, 12, and 7. I've been fighting around, but haven't gained too many stuff yet. So that's okay for right now because of what we're doing. So we're just going to get in the ship. We're going to head west and north and then get over to Welgarth. Now you need the golden key to get into Welgarth. That's why I did not go there first. And funny, I actually forgot about that when I played this game originally. Just to show you what's inside of here, it's basically 3 warp points. I don't really use these because sometimes they take you to places you can't go anywhere anyway, especially at the beginning of the game. So once you get the ship and that, they don't really do a whole heck of a lot. So we're just going to keep heading this way. Over here is a good spot to pick up an item here. This item will let you bring back anyone to life, the Leaf of the World tree. So it's good to have always one of them in your possession at any given time. So we're just going to continue on our journey now. As you'll see as we get closer to Welgarth, there starts to become mountains and everything. Hargon's area, Roan, is totally surrounded by mountains. The only way to get through it is the Cave of Roan, but you need the Eye of Malroth to see the entrance, which we will acquire later on in this game. So we're just going to keep going here, fighting off guys whenever we can for the experience. These guys, again, are not overly difficult. You have to be careful because they can put you to sleep and poison you. And again, they can gang up on you pretty quick here, so we're just going to keep working our way through here. Just kill these guys, and we're almost to Welgarth. Welgarth has some pretty strong weapons and armor, but you need to be very careful of what you keep your spend your money on, because like I said, for the hero you get the armor of Edric soon, you get the sword of Edric, you get the shield of Edric, stuff like that. So you don't want to spend a whole lot of money on the hero if you can. The same for the princess. They don't give a whole lot for her anyway. I like to focus on the prince because he obviously is one of those guys that you want to keep alive at all times. As he gets stronger, he learns some really good spells and stuff like that. So Gwen learned another spell called Repel, which is basically keeps enemies away. I don't use it that often. I see I'm poisoned. Gwen's poisoned. So now we're just going to keep working our way, and we've reached Welgarth. This is a good spot to visit before you go to the Cave of Roan. But again, if you can't get in here if you don't have the golden key, which we already have in our possession. I guess this guy doesn't realize that the town is under the ground. So as you can see, the key is just placed with a random person who has room. In this case, it's me. I need to reorganize my inventory. So we're going to go down in. And here we are at the town of Welgarth, a village. And talk to the various dealers. As you can see, they have some pretty expensive stuff. I don't buy the mink coat because while it's good for the princess, it's really a waste of money once you get the water flying clothes or whatever it is that we'll get eventually. So we'll keep these things in mind as we continue our way through the game. At this moment right now, I'm not going to buy anything, nor do I have the funds to. So we'll just go ahead and leave this guy and continue wandering around. There's this building that doesn't do anything here. At first I thought there was a door, but there is not. You use a key on it and it basically says that there is no door here. So we're just going to leave this. I actually don't remember what that was. This guy here sells tools. As you can see, he has a blank spot. So we're going to go ahead and buy this. He doesn't even tell you what it is. He just gives it to you. But when we go and look at the inventory, we'll see we have a lottery ticket and the jailer's key. So now we have acquired all of the keys in Dragon Warrior 2, which basically allows us to go anywhere. So we can talk to this tools dealer again. This is all basically just a place of guys who sell tools. Really not a whole lot else here. Again, I will get back to this point in the game as we get closer towards launching our assault on Hargon and his area. This is a lottery guy. Healer. The non-playable characters are always good to talk to because they give you clues as to what you should do in the game if you don't know, or you can't figure it out by the natural progression of the game. And we'll go in here and just talk to this lady for a good measure. And she's probably not overly happy with us that we came into her room unannounced. But hey, we have a key, so why not? So I think we're going to go ahead and leave here now. And the next step on our journey is we're going to head over to Tantagal Castle, which is the original castle from Dragon Warrior 1, where the original hero and Princess Gwaelin lived and thrived and eventually passed away after having descendants, which gave rise to us. So, as you can see, I'm okay on levels here. We're going to try and take the ship here. I just want to show you a couple spots along the way. But if it gets too hard, I'll just cast Return and go to Hamlin, which is not far at all from Tantagal. So, as I said before, when using Return, it takes you to the last place that you saved at, which in my case is still Hamlin, because I've been using that just kind of a staging area. As you can see, here's the mountain range around Rhone. Hargon's castle is like right over this mountain range. So I'll just get out here and show you real quick that, again, the enemies start to get harder as you go to different areas. I'm going to run from this fight because Golderworks are really strong. And this might actually, as you can see, I'm in no place to really fight this kind of guy yet. So hopefully nobody dies. Let's try and run again. And I'm stuck. I think the limit in this game for running is usually 4. After 3 or 4 times, you'll always run. So we'll just keep trying to run. The smokes I'm not worried about. The gold at work could wipe out my party pretty quick here. So we're just going to keep fighting and trying to run here. I mean, after this time we should run. Yes. Good. So I'm just going to go ahead and cast Return. And it'll take us back to Hamlin at this point. I think is the best course of action here. I could travel all the way around the continent and then come back down into Hamlin, but at Tantagal, I mean. But I think at this point it's just safer to cast Return and just play it safe because I could get beat up pretty quick and I don't want to lose everything I've done so far. Okay, so here we are at Hamlin again. Let's just go in and use the inn, and we'll continue our journey over to Tantegel Castle. Now, everybody remembers Tantagal from the first game had the village right next to it. That village is no longer there anymore, and Tantagal Castle looks different because this, again, is now 100 years has passed since we played Dragon Warrior 1 event occurred. So we're just going to head north and then to the west a little bit. I'll fight off these guys, why not? Medusa balls are pretty easy at this point. I try and balance, like you always hear me in my videos, I try and balance how often I run from guys versus how often I fight, just because I really want to get the experience points and everything to make the game that much easier. Because this game, again, ends soon, believe it or not. It's not that long of a game. Once you get the 3 crests and all the items, basically we can go to Hargon. So as you can see, this island should look familiar. That is where you get the Helmet of Edric in this game. We need to, I believe that's where it is. We need to get the Edric's token first, which I'll show you in an upcoming video where that is. We're just gonna fight off the sea slug here. So this island, this continent is, again, like I've been saying, is the original continent from Dragon Warrior 1, but it's been slightly modified. Things don't exist anymore, such as like the castle town where the golem was and stuff like that, because this is 100 years after, and the land is considerably different, altered, as you can see. So here we are at Tantagal Castle. As you can see, it looks different. The path to walking to the king is shorter. And we'll just talk to random people here, and they talk about Edric and how his descendants have returned. The random people, as you can see, the town has changed considerably. They talk about the Sunken Treasure. The inn used to be at the beginning when you walked in. Now it's been moved over here. Same as there's a weapon shop now over here. So we'll go ahead and just explore a little more. This guy just sells tools. I don't really need anything at this point. So we'll just continue to explore. Maybe go talk to the king, see what he has to say. And as you will see, the area with the king looks a little different. He is in fact missing. And this king actually is a descendant of King Lorik from Dragon Warrior 1, which I would assume, based on it's been 100 years, he's probably the grandson. King Lorik was probably his father's father, or mother's father, I would assume, based on the age. And we already have the dude's yarn. So this king is in hiding, so he's not as brave as his ancestors before him. But we'll do his job for him and keep everybody safe. Just to show you, there's no more secret path to Tantagal Basement. It doesn't exist anymore in this game. So let's go find our wayward king. He is hiding out inside of one of the little buildings here in a nondescript staircase. So I'll show you guys where that is. So we're just going to go back to the outside of this castle and go up these steps here. And there's our wayward king. So we'll go in and talk to him using the golden key to open the door. Again, he has no guards, no protection, so why not? He basically says he can't do anything and just good luck. He's basically given up hope on everything. Even though it looks like his village / castle has been spared from any kind of issues over the years. It looks to be well developed. As you can see, they sell some more stuff. There's things to consider for the prince here and temporarily for the princess. So I'm just going to stay at the inn for good measure. It's very cheap to stay here because you are a descendant of Edric. Apparently everyone knows that, even though you never actually said it because you don't talk. But ignoring that, we'll go and save. There is a spot to save here. You have to go and talk to the House of Healing, and you can save here because the king obviously can't do it for you. So we're going to save here, and our next video will focus on collecting the items required for the Edric's armors, swords, helmets, stuff like that. Thank you everyone for watching. Please like and subscribe. The next video will be coming soon.